Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Unfiltered and Unapologetic podcast, the space where we heal out loud, name what hurts, and stop pretending we're fine when we're not. I'm your host, Gil-Soto, born and raised in Lawrence, Massachusetts, who spent summers and holidays between Bani y El Cibao and the Dominican Republic. So today's episode is soft, but it's not late. It's not about the kind of self-care that you post on Instagram. It's about the kind that changes your life. We're talking about choosing yourself, not as a trend, not as revenge, but as a deep act of trust in God, that what He placed in you matters enough to protect. This is for the ones who always show up, who carry everything in silence, who shrink, hustle, and overextend, and are finally wondering why they still feel empty. This is for the ones who want to stop disappearing from their own lives. Today, we're going to go into why ignoring your needs leads to emotional self-resentment, what boundaries look like in Dominican and immigrant households, how your habits affect your connection to God and your capacity to receive, and how healing your inner child, reparenting yourself, makes choosing you feel safe again. So grab your tea, your notebook, your cafecito, whatever makes you feel like you, because we're not surviving this season. We're finally living it. Most of us weren't raised with tenderness. We were raised in survival. You got praised for being useful, not peaceful. You got loved for how much you could endure, not how honest you could be. You heard, "You're lazy" whenever you were tired. You're dramatic whenever you were hurting. You'll get over it whenever you were crying. In Dominican and immigrant homes, self-sacrifice is not just taught, it's worshipped. You learn to clean even when you're sick, to smile when you're exhausted, to serve others before you even know how to serve yourself. And then you grow up. You keep showing up, you keep saying yes, you keep overgiving until you don't even recognize your own needs anymore. And that's when resentment hits. Quietly. It doesn't explode, it simmers. You snap at people you love. You feel anxious for no reason. You wake up tired even after 8 hours of sleep because your body is drained, your soul is tired, and your spirit is done pretending. I have a journal prompt here for you. When was the first time you felt like having needs made you weak? And then the affirmation for this question is, I no longer apologize for needing rest, space, or love. I honor the part of me that wants to feel safe. Okay, let's talk about the part of you that still flinches when you say no. The part that wants to be chosen but doesn't know how to choose themselves. That's your inner child. The younger version of you who felt safest when everyone else was okay. Who learned that love had to be earned. Who got praised for being quiet, helpful, mature, or easy. And now, as an adult, you struggle with boundaries. You feel guilty for resting. You overthink every no because it feels like rejection. But here's the truth. You are not that little girl or boy anymore. You get to reparent them now. Reparenting means saying, I see you, I hear you, and you don't have to be perfect to be loved. When you choose yourself, you teach that inner child that peace is allowed. And if you want to go deeper into this work, listen to episode 3, Raised, Not Healed, the inner child who still runs the show. And then go listen to episode 4, The Wounds We Inherit, Healing the Father Wound and the Mother Wound in Dominican Homes. Because the root of this stuff, it's generational. I have a journal prompt here for you guys. What did you learn you had to be in order to feel loved as a child? And the affirmation for this question is, I choose myself And in doing so, I heal the child within me. In Dominican households, being bien criada usually meant being obedient, quiet, and respectful. So, in translation, it meant don't question things, don't talk back, and don't have boundaries. I'm sure others from other immigrant homes can relate. You learned to keep the peace even if it broke you, to serve even when you were tired, and to make everyone else comfortable even though when you weren't. And let's be honest, people pleasing is often survival. You played small to avoid punishment. You said yes to avoid guilt. You let people interrupt your peace because you didn't think it belonged to you. But you are allowed to choose differently now. Being loving does not mean being accessible 24/7. Being helpful does not mean being drained. And being Dominican does not mean being available to everyone except yourself. I have a journal prompt here for you. What role did you play in your family that you're ready to outgrow? And the affirmation for this question is, I don't have to make myself small to keep the peace. I am allowed to grow. Not too long ago, I got invited to an event. Normally, I would have gone, no questions asked. But this time, I was tired. I needed quiet. I needed to be alone with God, my thoughts, and my journal. So I said no. And of course, the reactions came in. But this is your family. You never come to anything anymore. You sure you're okay? And honestly, I was annoyed. Not at them, but at how much guilt I felt for doing something so simple, choosing myself. But after that passed, I felt good, clear, and at peace because I kept a promise to myself. And that's something I had broken so many times before. You don't owe anyone access to you just because they're used to having it. I have another journal prompt here for you guys. Where do you keep saying yes out of habit, even when your soul is asking you to say no? And then the affirmation for this question is, I don't have to feel guilty for protecting my energy. All right, now let's talk about the voice in your head. You know, the one that says, I should be doing more. I'm so behind. I'm too sensitive. That voice, that's not your spirit. That's survival talking. That's fear. Florence Scovel Shinn says, your word is your wand. What you speak becomes what you live. So when you say, I'm not enough, you live like it. I can't catch a break, you attract more chaos. I'll never get ahead, and you stay behind. But when you say, I trust God, I'm becoming everything I'm meant to be, I choose peace and peace chooses me, your whole body shifts. Have another journal prompt here for you guys. What's a lie that you've been repeating about yourself that needs to end? And then the affirmation for this question is, I speak life over my body, my work, and my spirit. Okay, so here's the truth. Rest is not laziness. It's trust. It's saying, God, I believe you're working even when I'm not. I trust that blessings aren't earned through burnout. I don't need to grind myself to the bone to be worthy. You can't keep saying you want peace while making your life a war zone. You can't keep praying for blessings and rejecting the rest that's required to hold them. Rest is an act of obedience. It's how we say, God, I'm ready to receive. A journal prompt for this section is, what's one way you can honor your body this week without feeling guilt? And the affirmation for the question is, my rest is sacred. God is still moving, even when I'm still. Now, let's talk about abundance. Because the truth is, you can have the right heart and still have the wrong habits. You can be kind, spiritual, hardworking, and still be blocking your blessings. Why? Because the part of your mind that controls most of your behavior isn't your conscious mind. It's your subconscious, the storage room of your beliefs. And let me break it down. Your conscious mind is what you choose. Your subconscious mind is what you've absorbed from your parents, your culture, your trauma. And here's the kicker. It's running the show 95% of the time. If you grew up hearing, life is hard, money doesn't grow on trees, people like us don't get ahead, your subconscious believes that, and it will sabotage anything that doesn't match that belief. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Man can only receive what he sees himself receiving. Your word is your wand. What you speak becomes what you live." You can't manifest peace while thinking chaos is normal. You can't receive abundance when you keep speaking in lack. Start saying, "I attract peace. I am open to receive. I am not stuck. I'm shifting." And the journal prompt for this question is, what belief about money, love, or success did you inherit that no longer serves you? And an affirmation for this question is, I renew my mind with truth. I release lack. I receive what God has for me, fully and without fear. So let's bring it all together. You are not selfish for choosing yourself. You're just finally stopping the pattern of emotional self-abandonment. We talked about the cost of ignoring your needs, what reparenting your inner child really looks like, the cultural pressure to overgive in Dominican and immigrant homes, how to say no without guilt, how to transform your self-talk through God's truth, how to rest is an act of faith, and how your subconscious mind, your words, and your belief systems shape the life you live. You are not broken. You're just waking up. You're just remembering, I was never meant to disappear to be loved. This healing, it's yours, and it starts right now. Now, I want to close with a prayer, not for you, with you. This one's personal. Put your hand on your heart and take a breath. Say it out loud with me if you can. Dear God, I no longer want to live in survival. I'm tired of shrinking. I'm tired of performing. I'm tired of calling exhaustion strength. Help me choose myself with peace. Help me speak life, not fear. Help me receive what I used to think I didn't deserve. I let go of what's not mine to carry. I forgive myself for every time I abandoned me. I walk in tenderness now, in truth, in you. Even if my family never taught me this, I will teach it to myself. I will not break down. I will break through. In Jesus' name, amen. If this episode moved you, subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a 5-star review so more people can find this space. Grab your blank journals on Amazon and connect with me on Instagram at Caitlin La Jefa with 2 A's at the end and at Unfill and Unapologetic Pod. It'll be in the show notes. Oh, and follow my TikTok at Kate La Jefa, also in the show notes. I'm Caitlin Gil-Soto, and this is Unfiltered and Unapologetic. Take care of yourself like you would your favorite cousin. I'll see you next time.